Augustine. So beautiful. Saint Augustine Florida มื้อนี้เป็นวันวิกเอนด์วันหยุดยาว Memorial Day เรามาท่องเที่ยวชมเมืองประวัติศาสตร์ของรัฐฟลอริดาหรือว่าของสหรัฐอเมริกาซึ่งมีชื่อว่าเมือง Saint Augustine อันนี้เป็นเขตโรงแรมแล้วก็เป็นฮาร์เบอร์แล้วก็เป็นพวกพิพิธภัณฑ์มิวเซียมเป็นครั้งแรกที่ได้มาเลาะเคยมาเมืองนี้2 ครั้งแต่บ่เคยมีโอกาสได้เลาะมาที่นี่มีโอกาสได้เลาะท่านเห็นอยู่นี่คือเป็นโฮเทลเก่าแล้วเขาจะทำที่ไหนเป็นโรงแรมมีรถไฟน้อยนำเที่ยวแต่จนมุ่งต้องซื้อที่เข้าไล่สุด
Can you take a picture here, Mom? Yeah. Right here? Let's take one of the 4 of us. Yeah, selfie, Dad.
อันนี้ไล่สุดเชิญออกเชิญบาย
please stay on this side of the room and do not cross any of the black lines.
Very nice.
Did that by installing all of these dragon heads right above us, and they go all the way around the courtyard. And he put a red light bulb in all of their mouths, so it looked like they were breathing fire, which is a really cool idea, except that direct current was pretty finicky. So at some point, all of the light bulbs exploded into dragon current action. So all in all, really not the best idea. But we did have electricity 4 years before the White House did. Does anyone have any questions about our courtyard? They started construction in 1887 and it finished in 1888.
18 months construction. Pangitจากนักสถาปนิกที่เรียนจบใหม่ๆดีไซน์600หลังคาตึกแต่ตึกนี้ก็ไม่เลย600ตึกที่เขาออกแบบปกติ
Alright, so everyone, welcome to the ladies' parlor. Now, like the name implies, this was a room only for women. So if I can have all of the men please stand up and exit to my left. I'm just kidding. This is a very interesting part of the tour, at least in my opinion. So before I get into this beautiful room, I would like to talk a little bit about Henry Flagler himself. He was born in 1830 in Hopewell, New York, and his father was a minister, so that is why there are several religious themes throughout the hotel. He got his start in the grain industry originally, and he did make a small fortune. Then he decided to try his luck in the salt industry, where he lost that fortune. Then he thought he'd try again in the grain industry and gained it all back. Later on in his life, he met a man named John D. Rockefeller, and the two of them actually co-founded Standard Oil. Rockefeller went on to say that he wished he could have come up with the idea on his own, but he really had to give all the credit to Henry Flagler. Now, Henry did have 3 wives, no, not all at the same time. But his first wife's name was Mary Harkness, and she was very ill. This was actually the only wife he would go on to have children with. So after she passed away, he married the nurse that cared for her. Her name was Ida Alice. Now the two of them came to Saint Augustine on an anniversary trip, and he really enjoyed the town. He thought it was bright and bustling. He wanted to modernize it even more, so it was his dream to build a luxury resort, and as you can see, he definitely succeeded. Now, unfortunately, Ida Alice's mental health did begin to deteriorate, and we're not exactly sure why, what she had, anything like that, but Henry did have her permanently institutionalized in New York. Now, at the time, it was under New York law that you were not allowed to divorce your spouse based on their mental standing, and Henry really wanted to do that. So he did what any logical person would do, and he moved his permanent residence all the way down to Florida, because at this point he was heavily situated in business, especially with this hotel and a couple others that he was involved in. So he got his big lawmaker friends to create the Flagler divorce law. This was used only once, and it was only used by one person, Henry Flagler. So he did get the divorce that he so desperately wanted, and he did leave her with some money. 11 days after his divorce was finalized, he married his third wife, Mary Lily Keenan. Now the only problem at this point was that now he was 71 and she was 34. So it was a bit of an age gap. Now he decided he would pamper her and give her 3 anniversary gifts. The first was a Tiffany pearl necklace, which can be seen in the second gift, which is a portrait. They are on either side of this building. and they gave it to her as an anniversary gift. Probably not the best idea, but the third gift was a mansion, so I guess it works out. One more interesting thing about this room is the fact that we have a Thomas Edison clock right behind me here. Now, if you'll look at it long enough, you may notice it tells the time exactly twice a day. It doesn't work. And we don't dare fix it because we're unable to access it from the back because all of the inner workings are so fragile and delicate, and the front is actually the largest piece of intact white onyx in the Western Hemisphere. So if we break it, then we no longer have the largest piece of intact white onyx in the Western Hemisphere. So if you look up above your heads, you will see this color blue. Does anyone know what this color is? It is Tiffany blue. This was actually the original color because those Tiffany blue boxes you see are a little bit more green. This was actually the very first color that he created to represent himself. A little bit lower, we have all of these Tiffany chandeliers as well. These are also considered to be priceless, just like the windows. So I'm very glad that I do not have the responsibility of cleaning them. But all of the mines that these Austrian crystal chandeliers were made out of have dried up. So there are 11 known to exist, and we have all 11 in this room. One last thing I would like to point out is that we have a very interesting red and gold chair in this alcove over here, and it is called the courting chair. It is kind of situated with 3 seats all facing each other, and this was actually the only opportunity a man would have to enter this room. 1 seat was for the lady, 1 for the gentleman, and 1 for their chaperone, just to make sure nothing funny happened. So this actually does conclude the 5-year legacy tour. I hope you all had a wonderful time. Again, my name is Jamie, and if you enjoyed the tour, please feel free to leave a comment card or rate us on TripAdvisor. And if you didn't enjoy the tour, please feel free to blame Henry Flagler. I had nothing to do with it. I'll be here for any questions you may have, and please feel free to wander around and take any pictures, but with no flash.
อันนี้มันเมื่อก่อนเขาสร้างเป็นโรงแรมเดี๋ยวนี้กลายเป็นมหาวิทยาลัยของเอกชนชื่อเราเป็นมิสเตอร์เฮนรี่ซึ่งเกิดในนิวยอร์กแล้วก็มาตั้งถิ่นฐานภูมิลำเนาอยู่เมืองนี้เป็นมหาเศรษฐี100 กว่าปีผ่านมาตึกนี้สร้างปี 1887 เพียงแต่ปีครึ่งแล้วนี่คือเจ้าของรูปของเจ้าของเก่าแล้วตอนนี้มีเมีย3 คนคนแรกท่านได้ลูกก่อนผู้หนึ่งผู้ที่2เป็นพยาบาลที่มาปิ้นปัวของเมียคนแรกอย่างนี้หลังจากนี้เราอย่าห่างกับผู้ที่2แล้วมาแต่งงานในผู้ที่3นี่เป็นลูกผู้นี้ผู้ที่3เมียผู้ที่3น่าเชื่อว่าสร้างภายในปีครึ่งแล้วเพิดตึกนี้มี450 ห้องเป็นโรงแรมสมัยเมื่อกี้เป็นรีสอร์ทโรงแรมคนที่มานอนต้องถึงรับเชิญจะเลยมานอนได้และช่วงระยะ3 เดือนนี้ค่าเช่านี้$4,000ต้องจ่ายเงินสดสมัยเมื่อกี้แต่ถ้าเทียบเทียบกับเดือนนี้ประมาณ$100,000ภายในระยะเวลาซัมเมอร์แสดงว่า3 เดือนต้องเป็น$100,000ผู้หนึ่ง$100,000จะมาเช่าโรงแรมนี้ได้ You mean for the rent for $4,000 is for 3 months?
Yes,
For the summer, right?
for the winter.
For winter? Oh, and that's invited only, right?
Right, you had to be very important to be able to stay
Oh,
here.
okay. Not everyone can come and reserve. Thanks. 4,000 ช่วงยามwinter $4,000เงินสดแต่ต้องเทียบใช้กับเดือนนี้ประมาณ$100,000 นี่แม่นโรงแรมส่วนตัวของมิสเตอร์เฮนรี่สร้างปี1887อันนี้เป็นเครื่องนุ่งของภรรยาเรามีภรรยาอยู่3คนบ่แม่นพร้อมกันนะคนแรกเสียชีวิตคนที่2เป็นพยาบาลที่มารักษาเราหลังจากนั้นก็ได้คนที่3หลังจากหย่าร้างกับคนที่2นี่คือเครื่องนุ่งของเราสมัยเรามาตั้งภูมิลำเนาแล้วก็มาสร้างรีสอร์ทโฮเทลหลังนี้มี450ห้องสลาสิเปิดให้คนเช่าแต่ช่วงฤดูหนาวเพราะว่าคนมาจากเมืองเหนือเศรษฐีจากนิวยอร์กเขาสิมาเช่าบ่แม่นว่าใครก็มาได้ต้องถูกรับเชิญเป็นบุคคลที่สำคัญ Very important person can be preserved or invited ชื่อเราเป็นมิสเตอร์เฮนรี่Madison Flagler Henry Madison Flagler ตัวนี้เราอายุ40ปีตัวนี้
We have to go before 4:30.
Okay.
We need to go like now, because we need to make it all the way back to where we started. We're going to Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, but we're going to the other tour too, right?
No, we're going back on the trolley all the way to Fountain of Youth.
This is it?
Is that this tour?
Thank you.
We did.
This was the second hotel built by Henry Flagler. And it was built, yes, to host some guests. Not quite the fancy guests over at the Pont Leon, but that front section was all rooms. But that hotel was also built as an entertainment venue. We'll talk about that later in the tour. Now, after the Seastream Yakima Hotel following the death of Henry Flagler, this was purchased by a gentleman named Otto Leitner.
Henry Flagler College or Hotel. Henry Madison Flagler.
In fact, this building to use as a warehouse.
Look at the wedding
It took
girl.
us 2 years before he found the
Wow.
to a museum unto itself. This became the Leitner Museum.
Starbucks,
He has so many items in
Casa Monica.
collection that it's only 1/3 of the items are on display. 2/3 are always in reserve and they get picked out. At 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. each day, they play his collection of music boxes, which is supposed to be amazing to hear.
วงเฮ็ดแต่งงาน
And he loved this place so much, he's actually
that's
buried
good
in the
flags.
courtyard in the middle.
Memorial
Now coming up to
Day
a stop
weekend.
here, please remember to wait until the vehicles come to a complete stop, and I've rung the bell indicating it is safe
I
for you
couldn't
to
believe they
disembark.
built
Please
18
remember to go down
months finished.
backwards if you're going down
That's
a ladder.
unbelievable.
Use the uprights and handholds for
Oh
support.
my God, 18 months. It's incredible, 18 months. Very, very hardworking, lots of work. Like in the museum. Maแต่งงานนักท่องเที่ยวทั้งหลาย
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
มาประชา
คนก็มาเที่ยวหลายอยู่ได้เนาะเมืองน้อยๆเมืองโบราณ
ก็เป็
กาน รโลกแล้วบุญจะอยู่โลก
เนาะอเมริกาเขาบอกให้อยู่ในยูเนสโกจะที่อเมริกาจะเห็นเมืองใดที่อเมริกาให้ยูเนสโกมา handle now they can be their own management What?
So he likes that it says Versace.
That is like leaving the price tag
Oh,
on
right,
your
welcome
t-shirt.
aboard Old Town Trolley. My name is Dennis, and I'm going to be
11B.
your guide today. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a staple here for a number of years. The road we're coming up on is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. Now you're probably thinking that's not that big of a thing. There are lots of those. Well, there are lots of them in America. However, he only marched on 2 roads
This
before his
own
name.
house.
This is one of them. The other one is in Atlanta, Georgia, which was his hometown. But Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did indeed walk up and down this avenue.
I'm not letting go again.
Now, Lincolnville is home to the largest collection of Victorian homes in Saint Augustine, And what amazes me is most of these Victorian homes started out as nothing more than boxes.
เสียปีเข้ามิวเซียมอยู่นะ
Back after the Civil War, this was the section given to the African Americans, and they did build little box homes. But over the decades, and that soon turned into centuries, you've got these beautiful Victorian estates. Now, if you look off to the left, talking of estates, this is one of two remaining orange plantations here in St. Augustine. This is called Yalaha, the Seminole Indian word for orange. This was owned by P.B. Dumas. You might know the name Dumas. He had a very famous stepbrother. That stepbrother was Alexander Dumas, the author of The Count of Monte Cristo and The Three Musketeers. Now, Yalaha is actually for sale if you have a spare $800,000. It's got 6 bedrooms and 4 baths. You'll probably need another $800,000 to get it in ship shape or so. Now, as we take this right up to Riberia Street, we are turning onto what used to be the industrial section of the city. Riberia Street had many industries that serviced the hotels in the area. There were also over 100 shipping boats, 10 canneries. In fact, the shipping industry in Florida got its roots right here in St. Augustine. Coming up at stop number 12 is one of the most popular stops on our tour. This is called the Distillery. Now, not only do they have tours of the distillery itself, they do offer free samples. This building used to be home to the Florida Power and Electricity Company, later Florida Power and Light.
Rum, gin,
One
whiskey,
section was Florida Power and Light, the other section was the
Saint
ice plant.
Augustine distillation.
This is where the ice trucks would come and get their big blocks of ice that would be delivered probably to your grandparents' house. As we turn in here to the distillery, you're going to smell the hop.
That's why they
from the
said it's
distillery
famous.
itself. Some people like the smell, some people do not.
Alcohol
You'll also see the original
distillation
1940s ice plant truck.
กั้นเหล้ากั้นเบียร์กั้นแอลกอฮอล์ทุกอย่าง กั้นเหล้า
เข้าไปเบิ้ง
Now the ice plant isn't here anymore, but there is an ice plant restaurant.
งานนู้น
This
ท่า
is supposed to be spectacular. The beverages inside are second to none. Now as I come around this corner, we pull into the distillery. Please remember to wait until the vehicles come to a complete stop.
หอมเนาะ
And I have rung the bell.
Alcohol.
Also,
I know, it's a rum, whiskey,
have any fun here?
beer, wine, everything
Stop
distilled
of the day
over here.
leaves at 5:30. So it's a good idea if you want to pick up our trolley to get back into town. Pick up whatever trolley is here by 5:30.
Whiskey, handmade whiskey, rum,
Ring the bell.
gin,
When
and
you
vodka.
remember to go down backwards and get to the climbing down a ladder. Keep the upright and hand over the board.
กองละกองทั่ว
คันนั้นเนี่ย
That way you don't have to carry it. You want one.
เนี่ยยี่สิบอลนั้นย่างไปพูดว่าอะไรนะย่างโอ้แล้วสิไปจอดบอลนั้นให้เขาอยู่มันนี่ได้อย่างไปบอลนั้นนะ
ไล่เฮาไปไล่เฮา
โอ้ตัวเขาไปมื้อเช้านี่เจ้าหนักไทย
โอ้แล้วแคชชู next stop แคชชู
Remember, this is the stop for the beach bus. The beach bus comes at the bottom of the hour. We will be here in approximately 10 minutes to begin at 5:30. As we drive past these pillars off to the right, I wanted to take a look up there too. That is Avila Street, the oldest street here in St. Augustine. Also up there is the Spanish Military Hospital. You can go up there and take tours. You can see what hospital life was like way back in the day. We had roughly a 50-50 chance of making it if you went in there with any type of injury.
All part of the Brilliant Show.
oh they beat us
We're going to turn on the oldest street, the oldest city of all out, Lee Street.
That's
This road is made
that's
out of
different
hard
company,
stuff.
right?
Feels like it's very bumpy.
red train yeah
All right, everybody on board.
let's go baby
Welcome aboard Old Town Collie. My name is Dennis. I'm going to be your guide today. As you pull away from stop 16, you're going to experience something shortly that you're going to love. Should be a beautiful breeze coming off the bay. I know it tends to get kind of hot close in here. But as we turn this corner, that's all going to change. You're going to have beautiful views off to your left. And as we come to this light, I want to draw your attention to this yellow building off on the right. This was originally built and called the Surprise Store. I know they hate the comparison, but this would have been the equivalent of Walmart back in the day. Whatever you needed would have been inside the Surprise Store. Now it was called the Surprise Store because women at the time were not allowed to hold money. They were not allowed to make transactions. So the women who would be staying at the fancy hotels would come down here and do their shopping. Now the bill for their purchases would eventually go to their husbands at the hotel, and that's where the term surprise comes in. It's said that Nelson, one of the Rockefeller's wives, came here and spent over $60,000 in one afternoon. Now this building originally held the Potter's Wax Museum, which again opened in 1949. And I don't know if anybody on here is old enough to know this reference, but in 1953, Vincent Price made a movie called House of Wax. It was the first 3D movie made by a major Hollywood studio. 75% of the scenes of House of Wax in 1953 were filmed here at Potter's Wax Museum.
Really? Oh.
Now as we turn onto this corner onto the bayfront, you're going to see the Saint Augustine Municipal Marina off to your left. Now if you want to take water to go across the tour, like go across the bay, this is the place to do it. There are actually several different tours you can take. One of them is the Black Raven pirate ship, and it looks like a pirate ship, and they reenact the pirate battle. There's a Pico tour. And there's the Schooner Freedom, and one other tour that I honestly cannot remember the name of right now. My apologies. But look at the marina off to the left. You can see the mast of the Black Raven pirate ship. As we head out towards stop number 17, the oldest house. This is a beautiful place simply to look at the water, feel the breeze, and enjoy this ride. If you look across the bay, you'll see the lighthouse on the side. That is the Saint Augustine Lighthouse. On the Anastasia Island, that's where the beach club goes, and that's the part of the tour. Now each lighthouse has distinctive markings on it, no two are alike. As we come up on the oldest house around this corner, you're also going to see the St. Francis Barracks. Now the oldest house only dates from 1702. That is the oldest house here in St. Augustine, but not in America. Now there were older houses, but in 1702, 7 or more of the Carolinas and Englishmen came down here and raised the city, burned everything to the ground. If it wasn't made out of stone or patina, it didn't exist. So after that attack was done, this home was built in 1702 and has remained intact ever since. Now, if you're a fan of architecture or you're a fan of old furniture, this is one of the stops you really should take. Now, as I pull into the stop number 17, please remember to remain seated until the trolley has come to a complete stop and I've rung the bell, indicating that it's safe to disembark. At which time, please go down the ladder backwards, using the handhold and uprights for support. This is stop number 17, the oldest house.
17.
This to the right.
1700.
All right, no one on, no one off.
400 ปีผ่านมาเลยกันครับ
I have to give it just a moment while this pretty horse comes around this corner.
400 ปี
Now, if you're like me and terrified of horses, you look the other way.
400 ปีแน่ๆ
โอ้มา
หลายคนอายุเฮาสัก
Alright, remember when the car is approaching to remain seated. Keep your personal belongings and all your body parts inside. Please keep your personal conversations and cell phone conversations to a minimum with those around you.
Got the key, no.
There is no smoking, vaping, or consumption of alcoholic beverages at any time. You're about to take the turn which is the scariest here in St. Augustine.
โอ้ very
หนทางกันน้อย
หนทางที่แคบที่สุด
Remember we did this in Key West?
ๆชีวิตง่ายขึ้นนิดนึงมันรุ่นตะกี้เฮ็ดไอ้ปองเยี่ยมแบบนี้แหละ
งานมีอายุถึง400 กว่าปี โอ้
Hey, I did it. Yay me.
อายุหลายคนๆนะ
โอ้ยร้อน
4 ชาติ 5 ชาติ
Okay,
Has
nowadays, whenever
คน
you want to buy something,
6 เซนคน
a lot of
คน
people
คนไง
will buy things online.
เดี๋ยวเขา
Well,
เรีย
back
ก
in the 1900s, there was no Amazon, let alone
เอ้ยอยู่
computers.
โชเฟอร์นี่
If you wanted to buy
Okay,
something,
then
you went to
okay.
the Sears and Roebuck catalog. What could you buy on a Sears and Roebuck? See this house straight ahead? Purchased on page 132 of the 1908 Sears and Roebuck catalog. This is the Chetty house. They would send you their wood, they would send you the nails, they would send you the glass. The instructions clearly said if you could find 5 to 6 competent friends, it would take you 2 months roughly to build this house. Now apparently,
I'm sure we can
it was still what the city did was they came in and they planted these live oaks, and the combination of breezes coming in off the bay and the natural sunlight itself provided here has caused the arc of the branches. Now you're going to see that little soft stuff coming off the trees too. That's called Spanish moss. Now that is actually not Spanish, nor is it moss. It's more closely related to the pineapple family.
Wait,
And I promise you, if any of it is close enough to the ground, do not touch it. It is home to a bug that we in the South have grown to hate.
Yeah, it's the next
Those
one.
bugs are called chiggers.
Shall we run?
The little tiny red microscopic bugs that if you get onto your skin, you're going to wish you were never born. If you ever had poison ivy, just imagine having poison ivy, the measles, and chickenpox all at the same
3
time.
minutes.
You're gonna
That's
wish you
really
were
cutting
born.
it close.
Chigger bites. As we pull into the Ponce de Leon, it should be noted that this is not just a theme park, but this is actually the oldest themed park here in Florida. There are guest records here dating back to 1866. And this is actually not really considered an amusement park. This is more of an archaeological park. On this site, they discovered the remains of an ancient Timaquan village called Saloy. It was here for 2,000 years before Ponce de Leon arrived. Now, as you're getting off here, please remember to wait until the vehicle has come to a complete stop. And I have rung the bell indicating it is safe to disembark. Here, that's the Fountain View.
Yes, you are. You're gonna get one anyway.
Let's give him a hand, give him a nice shot there. I shoot that thing, it always goes in the water. How you guys doing?
Good.
Are we sure?
Pretty much.
Long day or what?
Hot.
Yay.
Exhausted.
It's supposed to be hot. Nice, with the blood flow in. You see the little baby peacocks?
Not yet.
Yes. There's like 8 of them around here. That was this morning, something changed without notice. Probably in the shade. Alright, well my name is Daniel, we're going to talk about cannons. These cannons, I know they don't look like much, but these were your state-of-the-art cannons from the 1500s. Cast iron muzzle-loaded cannons. Everything went down the front, the muzzle. Powder, the wadding, and the cannonball. And they're very powerful, they can shoot a cannonball up to 2 miles. They had to take this wet sponge on a long stick over here, put it in a bucket of water, and ram it down the barrel to make sure all the embers are out before the powder guy can reload it, or else he might blow himself up. And that would take time, and these would have been on your big ships, your big galleons. What Pedro Menendez had along here were 20 old cannons. That is a copy of a cannon they would have had during medieval times. A breech-charged, muzzle-loaded bombardier cannon. Breech-charged, that cylinder you see there on the ground when it rings out is called a servidor or powder mine. Each cannon would have several of those, and you would preload those with the powder and the wadding. Pick one up, it weighs about 60 pounds, just slide in the back of the cannon. There's a big block of wood called a breech block. You put that down behind the servidor, that's what holds it in place, that's your breech charge. Muzzle loaded is when you take your 6 pound solid iron cannonball. This is the only thing to go down the front of that cannon. Fired off, max range, about 1 mile. It's 9/10 mile Bridge Alliance, so I can shoot it that far. I don't know exactly where it's going to hit or land. The effective range is much closer, between a 1/2 mile and 3/4 of a mile. So it's a much weaker cannon. I mean, you got a block of wood holding things together, right? However, you don't need to use the wet sponge and a long stick. You simply pull the servitor out, slap a new one in, and roll a ball down. A team of guys can fire that cannon 3 to 4 times a minute. You get 20 cannons, 20 teams, you're talking 60 to 80 cannonballs going down range. That's pretty impressive. What's not so impressive is this cannonball. Observe.
Boom.
Ta-da! That's all it does. It doesn't blow up like in the Johnny Depp movies. It doesn't break apart. It's just a hunk of metal flying through the air, and it gets the big ships with the big guns on there, probably just bounce right off. But we're in luck because the inlet back then is where the lighthouse is today. If you go up in the watchtower, you'll be able to see the lighthouse just beyond those trees. Now that inlet was kind of narrow. It was only about 9.5 feet deep during high tide. It wasn't deep enough for the big ships with the big guns to come in here. Had to park your ship on the ocean and come in a smaller boat like a longboat or a chalupa. Now, a chalupa is usually what I order when I go to Taco Bell. Okay? Really like them. But what they are actuality is a Spanish workboat. We have one right over there. This cannonball traveled about 400 miles an hour, was very effective against the longboats and chalupas, go right to the side like tissue paper. So if you're the invading force and you're coming in and your boat gets hit by this cannonball, and you're lucky enough to survive the impact and the splintering, now you're in the water with your gear on, helmet, shields, weapons, trying to swim. Good luck with that. And if for some reason you do get closer and closer, we're just going to switch over to bags of grape shot, effectively turn our 20 cans into 20 shotguns. So even though they're older, they were weaker, they were obsolete for the time period, just like the crossbow was, they were still very effective for protecting this area. Now the formula to fire a cannonball, because all these cannons fire different sizes. Whatever the cannonball weighs, half that weight in gunpowder is used for a full load. I got a 6-pound cannonball, I'm talking 3 pounds of gunpowder. We did not put 3 pounds of gunpowder in that cannon, put a fraction in there. After he fires it off, I'll tell you how much we used. The other thing is, we are not firing a cannonball. There's point over going up here. People are getting ready to watch the sunset. They're having some drinkies. They're enjoying the day. We can't be lobbing cannonballs at them. All right? But if you look closely, you can see the wadding fly out, and we're using Spanish moss for the wadding. Why? Because it works and it grows on trees. Now I'm going to give him 2 commands. Par is España, which means for Spain. Fuego, he's going to fire the cannon. It's not going to be deafening, but if there's small children, anybody with sensitive hearing, you should cover your ears. Everybody else, get your device out, hit that record button, and record the firing so you can share it with family, friends, over and over and over again. Facebook, here we come. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
This is the last cannon firing of the day.
All right.
Para España. Fuego! You even get the smell of history. The smell of freedom. I love the smell of gunpowder in the afternoons.
One more time.
Was it really have a bullet?
That was it. That was 2 ounces of gunpowder. 2 ounces.
2 ounces only?
Just 2 ounces.
Can you imagine 3 pounds in there? Forget about it.
Oh, wow.
All right, guys, that completes our demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to get our watchtower open. John's waiting for you to come over and see him shoot his gun if you haven't seen that yet. We'll drop the rope. If you want to get your picture taken by the cannon, just don't touch it because it's hot and dirty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, be lucky. You can see the cannon shot. Be lucky, right?
Oh, look at it. Is that Boston? I want to see a baby peacock.
Yeah, should be around. I saw the mother.
He's going to shoot a gun.
Well, it's not that. It's better than the lights.
He said climb the steps if you want to see him shoot a gun.
Okay, sure.
Very nice nature here. A lot of fish. Nice to make go. Mom doesn't know where we are. When did I call Mom?
She's down there.
She didn't know we are here.
She does.
Oh, he's shooting from down there. Yeah.
Why are we up here?
Nice.
He's shooting from where?
I can smell the sea. Can you smell the sea, the ocean? I miss that. I need to bring my boat 10 times to the ocean.
You have a boat?
Yeah, you didn't see in the backyard?
Granny!
You bought it?
Yeah, long time.
How come you never use it?
Backyard.
Why don't you ever use it?
Nobody go with me.
Scooby.
Oh, go ahead.
Duh. Don't
Scooby.
jump in the ocean. Mom, how'd you get up here so fast? Ready? Yes. 3, 2, 1. Wait, where's he not up here?
And he's doing one right there doing nothing. Oh, I think it's if you wanted to come here to see where he did shoot the gun earlier. It's not too bad. Let's go get pictures with the cannons, Dad.
Yeah, let's go.
Beautiful Saint Augustine, Florida.
Oh, we like to go there. Yeah, we can walk to the pier to the end, that end there.
Always make the view the brightness.
ไปในชั่วโมงครึ่งเกือบ2ไปแล้ว
น้ำเนาะอากาศดีเนาะ
นี่จะเห็นแล้วนอตาวนอตานมากำงาม
ตาวะ
นี่ โอเคบ๊ายบายน้ำอันนี้บ้านคนยืนน้ำบาดาลเทวดาเดิมพระมีอันนี้น่าจะเป็นพระแล้วก็เคยไว้แทบเลยให้หายจากงานโลคามีวันน้ำจากบาดาล มีภาษาหน้าทะเลขึ้นตรงที่เขาบอกเราจะไปไหลมาคือมีมันชาวสเปนิชมาค้นพบแผ่นดินตอนนี้มีมาอุปสติมวันคอยสเตเลียนมาพบบ่อน้ำศักดิ์สิทธิ์บ่อน้ำที่กินได้โดยที่ไม่ได้ตั้งกอง
Over here, Mom.
างรถไฟของรัฐฟลอริดาไปหานิวยอร์กเมืองเซนต์ออกัสตินมิสเตอร์เฮนรี่แฟลกเลอร์เราที่เดินทางรถไฟจากเซนต์ออกัสตินไปหาแจ็คสันวิลล์